Hey, what's going on, Jet fans? Welcome back to another video on Jack Talks Jets. And today, as you guys can judge by the thumbnail, by the title, today we are going to be breaking down, recapping, and putting in a lot of analysis into the Jets vs. Steelers game that took place this Sunday at 1 p.m., or this past Sunday, excuse me, at 1 p.m. And boy, do we have a lot to discuss. So let's get right into the video. No breaks, no anything, because I just want to get all of these things off my chest because I'm so proud with the way this New York Jets team played on Sunday on both sides of the ball, really. Maybe a little bit of negatives on the special teams. We'll get to that later, but we're going to break down what I really liked from offense and what I really liked from defense, what we need to work on from both sides, and then we'll get to special teams at the end of the video. So let's start with offense first. First of all, let's start in the backfield. What an amazing performance by our backfield, including Justin Fields, Breece Hall, and Braylon Allen. Oh my goodness, those three were electrifying on Sunday, especially Justin Fields. And actually, Fields really surprised me a lot. I thought he was going to do better rushing this game, but maybe he did better passing even this game than rushing. I know he had 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 passing touchdown, but overall, Justin Fields' passing game was so smooth and so electric on Sunday that you can't deny that he had arguably maybe his best game in his entire career, or at least one of his top 3 best games in his entire career. So he recorded 218 passing yards, one passing touchdown, and 2 rushing touchdowns, which with one of them, being a QB sneak up the middle in the end zone for a Jets touchdown. He played very smooth, looked very confident in the pocket. And speaking of the pocket, boy, does this O-line look very improved. They played through lots and lots of adversity, despite Elijah Vera Tucker going down with a season-ending tricep tear, which was an absolute brutal loss for this offensive line. But hey, this O-line did their job. They stepped up to it and pushed through adversity and nearly won the game for us. I would say the O-line were probably the MVPs of the entire game yesterday. They were absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely loved watching them yesterday. They played an amazing game yesterday against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And going back to the backfield, Breece Hall, oh man, he looked like his old rookie self, his 2022 and 2023 self, Breece Hall. I mean, this is a guy who, if he plays like this the entire season, will not get traded, will likely either get a franchise tag or a second short-term deal. If I had to guess, if he wasn't going to get the franchise tag, if he plays like this throughout the season, he's going to get at least a 2-year deal. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say he at least gets a 2-year deal with the Jets, or just a franchise tag. I think those are realistic options if he plays like this throughout the rest of the season. I loved what I saw out of Breece Hall yesterday. His vision looked absolutely improved on Sunday's game. And a lot of reports were coming out from Jets beat reporters that his vision did improve greatly during training camp. So I guess those reports were right. So if he plays like this all season long, I guarantee you Breece Hall will get another contract or at least a franchise tag. And speaking of the ground, staying on the ground and pound game, Andrew Beck, man, he is a very, very important piece to this offense, and I really hope that he stays around for a long time for the Jets. I thought it was a really smart move for the Jets to keep a fullback in the on the 53-man roster, just because again we're running a run-first offense this year, so it's going to be pretty essential that we do have a fullback there to give you those key blocks for your run plays, your key lead blocks, it's just overall smoothness, I guess I could say, to wrap up the offense in general. However, they do have to fix those 2-minute drills. I think, especially within last week's game, they really had to come together as an offense and really win this thing for us, and they just couldn't get to do that. Unfortunately, it ended in a very unlucky play with Garrett Wilson getting the ball knocked out of his hands by Jalen Ramsey. But, I think even though we have a run-first offense, we really need to be prepared for that 2-minute plan. We really have to. I think every NFL team has to, especially going up against good defenses like the Steelers and the Buffalo Bills this week, Buccaneers next week. I mean, you really have to lock down your 2-minute drills in play. So let's move on to the defensive side of the ball. Overall, I thought the offense was really good, but now we're going to move on to the defense, where we start up front with this defensive line. And oh boy, do I have a lot to say about them. They have a lot a lot of potential within that interior D line with Jay Tufele. I saw him on the field obviously yesterday. Played a pretty good game against the Steelers. They kept the pressure. The entire D line kept the pressure on Aaron Rodgers, which is exactly what you needed for him not to throw the ball. Unfortunately, I will say Rodgers did play a good game. He did. I'm not saying he played exponential, but he definitely played a really good game against us yesterday. But this Jets D-line just kept on pressuring him, especially in that first half. We were all over Rodgers in the entire first half. So that's something I really liked out of the Jets defensive line. Jermaine Johnson, first game back from the Titans after he tore his Achilles last year in week 2. He looked like his old self, so that's a good sign to see. Will McDonald looked very good. Quinnen Williams looked absolutely amazing. So a lot of positives up front. In the for the secondary, not really so good. Brandon Stephens, let's talk about him. Did not have a great game, especially in man coverage. I believe he let up maybe 2 touchdowns, I believe, yesterday. I'll have to double check on that one. Don't quote me on that. But he definitely let up a lot of catches, at least a touchdown or 2. And I think he also had a pass interference penalty as well, excuse me. So those are things, just some disciplinary things that we have to that Aaron Glenn has to implement on this defense, especially this secondary. Sauce Gardner played absolutely electric yesterday. Very improved with his tackling skills, which is something I really like. But yeah, Aaron Glenn, he already said it in the press conference at the end of the game on Sunday that if you make mistakes, you will not play on the field. So if we see this out of Brandon Stephens, even next week or maybe even week 3, he could be on the bench by week 4 or week 5, I think, for Azareye'h Thomas coming in for him. So that's I could totally see that happening if Brandon Stephens continues to play like this, because Aaron Glenn has no tolerance for mistakes or bad play especially if you're a starter for this New York Jets team. Linebackers, though. Linebackers played a really good game. Quincy Williams, very aggressive. Jamin Sherwood, very aggressive. Williams was flying all over the field. Marcelino McCrary-Ball actually played a really good game yesterday, recovering that fumble that we'll talk about soon with Xavier Gipson, who, by the way, I do have some words for. So, yeah, defense as well looked very good. Just have to work on that discipline in the secondary a little bit with Brandon Stephens. Otherwise, I thought everybody played pretty good yesterday. Andre Cisco, he had a quiet game, not really anything done, not too many positives, not too many negatives, just a very quiet game for him. Hopefully we see a lot more out of him this week in Buffalo, as Josh Allen will probably be looking to pass the ball a lot more, especially on those deep routes. I think he'll be looking for a lot of deep routes this week. So let's hope that we see a lot more out of Andre Cisco, and maybe even our other safeties like Tony Adams. Like he didn't have the best game on Sunday, but hopefully we could see more of our safeties. Now on to special teams. Oh boy, Xavier Gipson. I mean, what a horrendous game he had on Sunday. 2 fumbles on kick return touchdowns in one game. 1 game, 2 fumbles. And one of them, again, another discipline issue. He didn't get touched. And again, I get it. He may have thought he got touched, but he did not get touched. And in those situations, you just have to play to the whistle. Play to the whistle. That's the expression that all coaches give to the players. Play to the whistle. And Xavier Gipson did not, actually. He thought he got tackled, but, no one touched him. Let go of the ball. Thank goodness McCrary-Ball was right there to recover it, or else the Steelers would have gotten that. And the Steelers did get it the second time. The Pittsburgh Steelers recovered a Xavier Gipson fumble on the second fumble that he had in I believe it was maybe the 4th quarter with about 10 minutes left. I want to say it was early 4th quarter that Xavier Gipson fumbled the ball on a kick return, and it was recovered by the Steelers. So that's something you cannot have happen, especially if you're a starting kick returner. And again, same thing goes back to Brandon Stephens. If you're gonna make mistakes, if you're gonna do bad, especially as a starter, Aaron Glenn will not have you play. He won't. And I'm still really confused why Xavier Gipson made it on the team over guys like Jamal Pritchett or Quinn Skinner. Really, I can't. I was really looking forward to seeing Skinner on the team, especially Quinn Skinner. I thought he had a really good preseason, so I was expecting him to be on the field a lot. I guess you could say that Gipson has only had 1 really good play of his entire career, and that was the kick return touchdown on 9/11 against the Buffalo Bills for a walk-off victory. But I guess you could say that's it. I mean, when else has he when else has he shown anything that he is a starting caliber kick returner or wide receiver in the NFL? You can't. You can't name it. And I love Gibson, great dude, but not really a great NFL caliber football player. Nick Folk, he looked really good yesterday. Austin McNamara looked very good yesterday. Surprising because I actually thought that McNamara wouldn't be on the team as the punter this season. I thought they were going to go get someone, but no, it turns out he's here, and it turns out he did really good yesterday. And believe it or not, I don't know if you guys saw this actually, but the Jets punted for the the Jets did not punt in the entire first half for the first time since 1991. That is insane. All the games from 1991 to 2025, the Jets punted in every first half except for the one on Sunday. So hopefully that's a sign of improvement. I think that that's a very good sign of improvement. I was really happy with the way Coach Glenn coached this team on Sunday, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the next 16 games for the Jets. Hopefully maybe a little more this season, if you guys know what I mean, playoffs, which is it's not going to happen, but let's just hope. But anyway, that is my entire analysis. Just in overall, I thought the team played very well yesterday. They were very competitive, very driven to win, which is something you really want to see. Just got to fix the little things such as discipline, especially on special teams. But overall, I thought the team was very well coordinated. I thought they were very smooth, and I cannot wait to see what they do against Buffalo this week. Thank you guys so much for watching tonight's video. If you are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. And I will see you all next time. Peace out, Jet fans.